Welcome to the Handed Down Kitchen, where we bring recipes out of the past and back into the kitchen. It's 1930s week and today's recipe is for an old-fashioned gooseberry jam. Flavour-wise, it's sweet and tart, and you can use it in all sorts of things from making jam tarts to spreading on your toast in the morning. The recipe we're using was published in 1936 in Cookery Illustrated and Household Management, a book that's so thick it doesn't fit properly into our bookstand. In this book there are two recipes for gooseberry jam, one for red and the other for green or white gooseberries. We'll be using green gooseberries that we've grown in our garden, so we've gone for the second. All you'll need to make this jam is water, fresh gooseberries which have been washed and dried, and preserving sugar. Making jam is all about the balance of ingredients. For every 1 pound of picked fruit you have, you'll need 1 pound of preserving sugar and half a pound of water. To start with, top and tail your gooseberries, snipping these off with a pair of scissors. Then pour your sugar into a pan, and then pour in the water. Stir these together over a medium heat with a wooden spoon for 10 to 15 minutes until this begins to boil and turns into a light syrup. Next, carefully pour your gooseberries into the syrup. Let these simmer, stirring every so often so that it doesn't bubble over, and do this for 3/4 of an hour. Gooseberry jam is one of the easiest jams to make, as gooseberries are naturally high in pectin, which helps the jam to set, so this is a great jam to start out with if you've never made jam before. Over time you'll see the mixture darken and start to look like jam. This gooseberry jam has a lovely golden red colour to it. To test whether or not the jam is ready, put a little bit onto a cold plate that's been in the fridge and nudge it with a spoon. If it jellies like this, your jam is done. Next, you'll need a clean and bone-dry jar. Our book tells us that you should wash your jar at least 1 day before making your jam so that your jam doesn't get mouldy. Set your jam aside and let it rest for a few minutes before pouring it into the jar. Our book says it's important not to fill the jars too full, and luckily enough we have just enough jam to fill it, leaving about an inch before the top of the jar. And then just leave this with the lid off for a while until it's cold. And once it's cooled down completely, use however you please. You can use it to fill up cakes and desserts, have it on your cheese board, or just spread it on some toast like we have. So there we have a 1930s recipe for gooseberry jam. Easy to make, doesn't take too long, uses only 3 ingredients. You can grow the gooseberries in your back garden like we did, or get hold of them in any supermarket or fruit and veg store. And as we said earlier on, it's the perfect jam to make if you've never made jam before. We hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please remember to leave us a like and subscribe to our channel if you're interested in seeing us recreate more antique recipes. You can also find full instructions on our website, which is linked in the description box below.